Dr. Fate. Fighters approaching Fortress of Solitude. Scarecrow. Batman. Fighters approaching Arkham Asylum. Begin. Begin.
I don't know if they come. Okay, second. Scott right now, quite a hefty lead to join
This nightmare will not stop.
Full meter now.
Don't bet on it.
Let's see what happens with that. 3 bars, Scott's got 2.1, amongst the mix. And now he's been going to out close to hand, he's taking big that very important. No punish, unfortunately. And now he has him in the corner, this could get ugly. Ooh, anti-has with the batter angle. He gets jumped to, misses out there, and small kill. Scott hook, and that is the first game for Scott to score. Let's see if Johnny Napalm plays the most cool of a character. If it's only in Scarecrow, then see how he adapts.
Microphone.
Begin.
Ooh, starts off with PK and stuff with Johnny Napalm. Trying to keep that pressure on, but Scott's already away, and now as Johnny Napalm tries to get back in, he catches him with a straight back, and he has him in the corner. Very nice combo there. Ooh, raw wake up anti-air right there. Using the pokes for the full mix up, very nice. Ooh, goes for parry, risky lead and gets 2 combo points for it. Doesn't have 2 bars to air escape. Let's have a look. Ooh, doesn't quite get the punish from that. Sweeps him catching the back dash. Let's see if he can keep up the pressure in Batman. Johnny Napalm will need to stay in if he wants to have any chance of winning this. Scott with a health deficit currently, but has Johnny Napalm in the corner. Let's see if we can take advantage. Puts him into the mix up. Goes for a jump to hit same side, but you can see Scarecrow there going back and forth. Doesn't know which way to block. He's going for another one. Ooh, same side again, but Johnny Napalm thinks it's a cross up, and Scott takes the first health bar in the second game. Let's see if Johnny Napalm can bring the pressure. Oh, he's teleporting in. No punish for the trait back safe from Scott. Scott, there we go. There's the punish this time. Let's see what he does with it. Now he has him in the corner. He's gonna clash there from Johnny Napalm. Let's see what he does with it.
I'm Batman.
Spends 2 bars. Scott keeping his for the mix-ups off of the grapple. He's going to zone a bit low. Ooh, wow, raw slide from Halfscreen, catches him, not blocking low. And now he's going to mix him up in the corner here. Oh, goes to the explosion, gets it, no backdash there from Johnny Napalm, and no meter to get the meter burn grapple. Let's see if we can continue the mix-ups. Gets the bat, but no full combo. Goes to the back one, straight into a throw. And now it looks like he might decide to zone. Gets the trait bat, is going in for more pressure. Scarecrow with a sweep there, catches him, not blocking low. Tries to go for a throw, but doesn't quite land the string. Let's see if Scott can finish out the second game, or if Johnny Napalm's want to make the biggest comeback we've ever seen. Oh, and the meter burn forward 3, gets a back one, but doesn't quite finish, and the back one takes the second game. Scott is up 2-0 now. We'll see if Johnny Napalm can make the adjustments to bring this back.
Begin.
Oh, starts off with the sweep again. 1, 2, 3, still gets punished with the back one there. That is not safe from with. Let's see a look. Gets jump 3, very nice, and puts him back into the grapple, but no meter again to get a mix up. Is going to zone a little bit now, and catches him trying to trade up with the trait backs. Goes straight in for some more pressure, gets the meter for the grapple, goes to the mix-up, no, back 1-1, and doesn't block it. Oh, gets the cross-up forward 3 on knockdown, doesn't quite get the back one, and another cross-up forward 3, but puts himself in the corner. We'll see how he can handle it now. Gets the conversion, let's see what he can do. Misses the back 3. Scott gets back and goes for a cancel and a straight up uppercut for Johnny Napalm. 1, 2, 3, doesn't quite get a full conversion in the corner. The parry on the 2, very nicely timed there. Gets the bat, is it good? Oh, doesn't quite get the conversion. Scarecrow goes to the mid one back 3, but nothing from it. Gets teleport, no punish. He gets the back 1-1 into the cancel, not blocking low. Blocks forward 3. Oh, and he goes over the meter burn back 3. Going to get a full combo, but Johnny Napalm at a meter deficit at this last clash. We'll see if Scott decides to use the bar to take the health. Nope, wants to keep it for the mix-ups, doesn't even spend 1 bar. So Johnny Napalm gets that 25% health back. Let's see what it does with it. Ooh, a nice poke there from Johnny Napalm. Checks Scott, Batman. Ooh, tries to slide out, gets under Scarecrow there, but now there's a punish. No full combo, doesn't quite have the meter in time. Ooh, tries to anti-air with the trait back, but goes right under him. Let's see if Johnny can stay in. Ooh, goes back, but might. Ooh, gets caught with the meter burn back 3. And we'll see if Scott can take advantage. Goes into the grapple mix-up. On the same side again, but Johnny thinks he's going to cross up, and this could be it if he gets enough damage. Goes for the meter burn explosive, and the unblockable will take the set 3-0 for Scott. Very nice stuff. Unfortunate there for Johnny Napalm, just not able to apply enough pressure to keep it going. And Scott was able to take advantage, punched the teleports with trait bats, and just played his patient game until he could get the mix-ups going, and Johnny just kept getting wrong. Alright, let's see. So it looks like Scott and Johnny having a little chat about the match there, and we're having a look at the bracket just now to see what matchup's next, and next we'll have something for you, but we'll see in 1 second. Let's have a look. Has he played? That's how he played me. I thought you said has he played all of it? Oh, always happens. Okay, so let's see what we have coming up next for you. Looks like it could either be myself against Scott the Scot, or we could have Rusty Banana versus Nausea. Yeah, you can jump on commentary. We have Suleiman, one of the Street Fighter players, and a previous Mortal Kombat X player as well. You're familiar with Crystalline Tremor, wasn't it?
I was, yes, that was me. I played a bit of Crystalline Tremor and a bit of War God Kotal, and that was about it.
And then you left before the final patch came about, and then another Armoured Launchers, didn't you?
Yeah, I dodged MKX after.
Yeah, I think a lot of us kind of went over to Injustice 2. A lot of us were looking at MKX thinking, oh, okay, well that's been a game.
Alright.
Let's see what happens. Is that still on now? Okay, looks like our next matchup is going to be quite a spicy one, because we'll have Rusty Banana, one of the top players for Injustice in Scotland.
This guy played Alien.
Yeah.
MKX, and
Yeah,
he
he played
dodged
a few
hype spawning
characters.
because of the new patch.
He did so, but when Honeybee, one of the top Canadian players, came over for MKX for hype spotting a year or two ago, he was doing very well in casuals. Rusty was with Alien. They were playing some Alien mirrors. I could see, and Rusty was really keeping up. It was very good stuff. And he would play Nausea, someone who also started Mortal Kombat X competitively. He was known for his Airmac, hands down the best Spectral Airmac out there. Yeah, he's, like I say, definitely one of the best Spectrals out there. Even went to Vianality this year and perfected Madsen.
Ooh.
Perfected Madsen.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Sweaty.
Yeah, wasn't happy about that, but yeah.
Did he win the set though after the perfect?
He did actually. Yep, Nausea won the set.
Man like Nausea.
It was like what? Yep, it was a 2-1 at one point. Madsen had switched to Cyber Sub-Zero from Sub-Zero, and he had the game-winning combo, dropped it. Nausea took advantage, won the set 3-1, and the pop-off, he looked so surprised. It was so funny watching it back. He was like, oh my god.
You need to reset these points.
Oh yes, need to reset the names here, so we'll just update it so you can see what's happening. Let's see. And
Scarecrow. Deadshot.
we'll
Fighters
have
approaching.
Nausea up
So
there.
is Nausea playing Scarecrow?
Yes, no, that would be Rusty, so I'll swap
Oh,
that in a
okay.
second. Yeah, Rusty. Oh no, sorry, no, Nausea wasn't playing Scarecrow, and Rusty is playing Deadshot. Very interesting stuff. Let's have a look at that. So
I need to
Rusty,
fix this. Hurry up, man.
yeah. No, he's not playing DJ. Okay, dead shot and
Scarecrow at the bottom.
I bet if I swap this. Yeah.
He's not 1-3-0 yet, mate. You need to fix
Oh no, wait. No, that's right. He is playing Scarecrow.
Begin.
Okay, let's
Preemptive
see.
3-0.
Yeah. Preemptive 3-0. And the match has started off. Rusty starting off with Interactable. They're trying to make his way on the Scarecrow with that jump 2. He needs to apply that pressure. Doesn't
What was
quite
that
get the down
grand
one.
finals that everyone was complaining about because it was just a dead shot mirror? It was like Sonic Fox.
Oh yeah, there was that competition where a lot of the top 8 players were playing Deadshot, but then afterwards they just realised that was a one-off and they haven't been playing them since. Sonic Fox played Deadshot for E-League.
Yeah,
but
Sonic Fox is on like Marvel now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing a bit of Marvel. Didn't even qualify for the E-League playoffs. He lost to Forever King twice.
Yeah, the Dragon won that. No.
Dragon ended up winning, yep.
Dragon, that guy's rolling in it now, like that Evo paycheck.
Yep,
flipping
winning Evo and the World Championship. I think it's safe to say he's the best player of this game now.
At the moment.
Let's see what happens here. Looks like Nausea is keeping this even. Back the push block there from Rusty.
And it was
Gets the
earned.
trophy.
Well done.
Let's see what happens. Rusty using Interactive to stop Nausea making his way in. And that meter burn rifle, a lot of pushback in that and block. Something that hasn't been changed in the patch will be upcoming. Doesn't quite block the overhead. Nausea back to full screen, but gets the teleport, making his way back in. Ooh, and a raw blast. Sure didn't mean that, but we'll see if he can bring it back. Rusty with a slight part of his first health bar left, but just built the bar there. Let's see if he does anything with it. Ooh, Nausea tries to jump 3, but not quite close enough. And goes for meter burn back, he cancels it though, makes his way in. Does meter burn the Fear Fender, no punish, but does catch him trying to press the button afterwards. Rusty with that meter burn draining trait now. Ooh, gets the meter burn Fear Fennel and goes to the meter burn Scythe. Let's see what it does with it. Doesn't quite kill. Ooh, goes to the standing 3, but it's too slow. Doesn't have that much advantage. Catches and jumps with the back 3. Sorry?
Was that an overhead?
Nope, the standing 3 is a mid. It's been slightly buffed in the patch that will be coming out for PS4 this coming Tuesday, along with Hellboy for Fighter Pack 3, as well as Teleport. So Scarecrow's got some nice looking buffs, and Deadshot has some pretty severe nerfs. So we'll see what happens with those characters, but as for now, Nausea has Rusty in the corner. This could be good for him. No push block from Rusty. Is going to play the patient game. Goes for meter burn back 3. No check there from Nausea. No with punish, but Nausea with no meter right now can't clash. We'll see what Rusty does with it. Rusty playing the patient game. Ooh, gets the meter burn and catches him with
And
the chip
another
on the
trophy.
coins. And another trophy.
Man's after the platinum
2
today.
trophies. So that would be the first game to Rusty. We'll see if Nausea is going to switch characters. No, sticks with Scarecrow. We're going to see what he does with it. See if we can make the adjustments he needs to. Make his way in, slow down Deadshot. We've seen it happen with White Boy and Foxy. We'll see if Nausea can do the same.
Begin.
Ooh, tries off the back 3, doesn't quite get it. No whiff punish from Rusty. Rusty's still playing that patient game. Catches him out of the forward one with Interactable. And Rusty's going to send full screen the forward 1, 2, 3. Puts on the meter drain. And he's going to try and zone him now, but Nausea with the teleport, no punish, and catches him underneath the bullet with the forward one. That is a high crushing option. Gets the meter burn Scythe. Let's see what his options are. Keeps it plus, but whiffs the command grab, putting him at -frames. Rusty's now going to send him back to full screen. Through the chip from the meter burn done, and let's see what he does with it. Teleports in, gets punished a little bit, but no full combo, and this is going to be a full combo now for Rusty. Ooh, no ender there. Doesn't quite get that. Oh, goes to the meter burn back 3, but 2 hits breaks it before it can come out. And Rusty with a hefty lead in this first life bar. Let's see if Nausea can keep him in the corner at this point.
Yeah, man, we have the toilet, man.
Go for it. See you later, so on. Oh, and gets the standing ones. Is going to finish the combo. Gets the schizophrenia. Very nice stuff. Let's see if we can keep the pressure going in the corner. Goes to Mirror 40. Very minus. Rusty punches there with the gunshots. Very good stuff. Good awareness. Oh, and gets the full conversion. Very nice there from us. It goes to the Logan. No punish there from Nausea. Forward one, goes underneath the gunshot, catches him, and that's going to be the first health bar from Nausea. Only a little bit of health down. He can bring this back easily enough if he brings himself in. And get the trait out as well, and the traumatized by a very useful tool. Tries to catch him out of the teleport with down 1, but whiffs it, so Nausea did make his way in, and back to the teleports and gets full punished there by Rusty. Puts on the meter drain again, let's see if Nausea can make it again. Throws Interactable, gets a couple of dashes, let's see, and no, Rusty jumps back, grabs the Interactable, puts him back to full screen. We'll see what Nausea does with it. Ooh, catches him poking there. Second hit of that forward 1-3 string, and Nausea with the clash. Does have the meter advantage, so he might be able to get some health back. See what he does with it. Nausea on 3 bars and Rusty with 2. Rusty spends both bars, doesn't quite need them, he'll be able to build it back really easily. Nausea spends all 3 bars, wants to get that health back as much as he can until he can make it in. And Rusty's still playing this patient game. Nausea in, hits him with the forward 1, but no follow up. Gets hit by the overhead, and he's going to be back to full screen again. Has a bar. Ooh, catches them with a fire out of the air, and that's going to be the second game for Rusty. Only one more game Nausea has. We'll see if he switches characters. He has a Dr. Fate, he has a Catwoman, he has a Superman. We'll see what he does.
Catwoman.
Rusty, of course, sticking with Deadshot. That's been his main for the last little while now since Aquaman had been there. And Nausea switching to Catwoman. We'll see how that fares up with Catwoman. A notoriously hard matchup for Deadshot, so we'll see if Nausea's Catwoman can bring the pain. Up flipping the blocks from the back, he's underneath. Ooh, catching the forward 2. Ooh, no punish there. Let's go for back 3 punish instead of forward 2. We'll see what happens. Ooh, catches him in the air with that interact with. What a high hitbox from that. Goes to the meter burning guns, catches him out of the air with that. Nausea will have to make his way back in at this point. Let's see if he can do it. Ooh, catches him with back 3. 1 forward 2 from knockdown, and we'll see what he does in knockdown. 1 forward 2 again, catches him with throw. He has it plus range, that does give you an attempt at throw. Ooh, very nice. The down plus back 3, and the mirror back 3 catches him off interact. Very smart stuff here from Nausea. See if we can keep this up. Ooh, catches him in the latest active frames of that knee there. Gets the knockdown this time, sets up meter drain, goes for a meter burn forward 3, punished with a throw. Very nice play here from Nausea's Catwoman. Unfortunately, the 2 hits goes right through that meter burn forward 3. And see if Rusty can keep this up. 90 by 2 catches him with the coin and wake up, and see if Nausea can make his way back in, continue that pressure that he was applying before. But Rusty now almost at 3 bars. Spends one of them on the meter burn gun, caught by the last couple of hits there. Gets caught out of the air. Let's see if Nausea can handle it. Gets a jump to, ooh, right into down plus back 3, very nice. And gets another throw, very nice. 1 4 2. Ooh, goes for another throw, but Rusty jumps off interact. Ooh, very nice meter burn back 3 to catch him poking there. And he's only down a little bit of health. Nausea could bring this back. Gets the sweep again and again. Very nice stuff here from Nausea. 1 forward 2. Really bringing out the pressure now. Very nice blocking the wake up. And a check from Nausea. Nothing from it. Another sweep there. Rusty caught not blocking low, but blocks the 1 forward 2 there. Oh, very nice cat dash there from Nausea. This is going to be a solid punish, but Rusty clashes as soon as he gets hit by that jump 1. Very smart play here. Nausea's Catwoman is looking really strong right now. Rusty will really have to try his hardest to make sure that Nausea doesn't get in, gets to apply the pressure. Let's see what he does with it. And gets caught by the back 1. Back to full screen with no meter. We'll see what Nausea can do. Trying his best to make his way in. Back to he's under the. Oh, gets caught by the forward 2. And Nausea's turn to clash, but it is on even meter, so it looks like Rusty is going to spend the bar. If Nausea chooses to spend the bar as well, there's no health back. Yep, there we are. Let's see what happens with it. Rusty with a jump in, no anti-air from Nausea. Oh, goes for the sweep, but just out of range there. Needs to work space a little bit, and he's going to. Oh, he gets caught by the back 1 guns, and that's going to be 3-0 for Rusty Banana. Very nice play there from both players. Very nice switch to Catwoman there. Nausea's Catwoman looking very strong, but just couldn't keep the pressure going on Rusty, unfortunately. Very nice play from both players. So we'll have a look at the bracket and we'll see what's next up for you. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, looks like it'll be me up next versus Scott, so enjoy, guys. Oh my, just... Oh, right, aye, that'll be fine.
approaching Arkham Asylum.
Right, yeah, so he's
so
the
you're on the
red
left though, yeah? What's how do you spell
Begin.
Y-O-U-P-H.
Don't put them on, right, okay. So, up next, we've got GK Euphemism and GK Scott the Scot. So, on mic, we've got Rusty Banana, the
What's
resident
up?
expert, and me, Ezler, the resident scrub. So, this is from all the time that I've actually been present in the Glasgow combat scene, which was a very, very short period of time. This is a storied matchup.
Red Hood.
So, who do you think this goes in favour with? We've known Euphemism is one of the stronger players.
Yeah,
Fighters
I'd say
approaching the
probably
back
Euphemism, but it could go either way. I haven't seen Scott play in a while.
You haven't seen Scott playing
So,
well. I was speaking
yeah.
to Scott earlier, and he was saying because of studies, because of kind of responsibilities, he's kind of jumped off a little bit. He's taken a bit of a back pedal
Yeah.
on how he's played. I know Scott
Begin.
for definitely not Red Hood, so he's made a change to
Yeah.
Red Hood. Have you seen his Red Hood at all?
Never, no.
No. So he's both of these players just now are feeling each other out with projectiles. How do you feel like this goes for Supergirl? Do you think it's in her favour?
I hardly ever see this matchup, surprisingly, given that these are two top tiers, but yeah, it could go either way. Scott's actually Supergirl right now, isn't he?
Yeah,
I've
Scott's-
seen his Supergirl before. He's good with her, so. see how
Okay,
it
so
goes.
Scott's playing Supergirl, so that's me getting them back to front. So with Red Hood, how do you feel like his projectile game goes against Supergirl's lasers?
Well, Supergirl pretty much can't be zoned, to be honest. Those lasers are so fast. Yeah, Red Hood's gonna be wanting to get in on her.
Yeah, so really an advantage here, Red Hood should be pushing in, but the problem with Supergirl is she does have moves like the Ice Breath that leave her on positive on meter burn,
Yep.
and some really good mix-ups. So
Yeah.
how would Red Hood ideally deal with that?
Well, Red Hood does his thing. He has really good normals, and that lunge is pretty much one of the best specials in the game. So we'll just see how he goes about it. Especially in the corner, Red Hood has some nice setups, which I saw Euphemism doing in casuals. So
And we just seen that that's one of the options there that he has. He uses the lunge to close distance, but he
Yeah.
did use a meter burn roll there as well, which is
yeah, it's
something
an interesting
it's a
mechanic.
very interesting tool for him to use at that point, because earlier on we didn't see it in the, at least Injustice kind of playtime, we didn't see that kind of usage of the meter burn rolls to beat projectiles, and that's why Deadshot felt so prevalent in the meta, and he still is, but I've been told there's going to be a balance patch that maybe kills Deadshot a little bit.
Yep.
But do you think the same patch will affect Red Hood?
Yeah, it has, but I'm sure Red Hood will still be good. You know, they nerfed his lunge a little bit, which is fair enough, but he still has good neutral, good zoning tools and all that.
So what is the benefits of the lunge? Is it a meter burn launcher, or is it
So
just a good closing
nah,
tool?
it's like 13 frame mid with really good range, good chip damage, leaves him at good range on block as well. So it's just really good.
So what we're seeing there as well, he's challenging when Supergirl's in
Yeah,
the air. The
exactly.
lunge is really good at challenge. We've seen a float out into a jab. He didn't fully capitalise on it from
Yep.
Red Hood, but it looks is it safe?
Meter burned is, yeah, and you saw him use the lunge to catch the backdash there after a back 1-3.
So how do you feel about Red Hood then as a character? Is
Oh,
this a character
he's
you
good.
enjoy?
People say he's like, some people say he's the best in the game. Definitely a top 5 character.
Definitely.
Same with Supergirl though. And after the patch, Supergirl got untouched, so she's probably going to be like top 3.
Still think she's going to be top 3. So who is
Yep.
it you play now, Rusty? Banana?
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Will you be changing?
Probably.
Probably.
Fate's going to be really good
Fate.
after the patch. He's yeah. When Deadshot gets nerfed, Fate consequently gets buffed because that was his worst matchup. Now Fate's going to be really strong.
They'll have less contenders against them. That's good then. And we've got, that is Euphemism, Glasgow Combat's Euphemism taking the
Yep,
first match.
1-0.
And both the players is now just a bit of light banter, congratulating each other on playing well.
Yeah.
But Scott the Scot is still also being told to stay free. So it's just one of those, he's doing really well, and that's one of the benefits there of the meter burn. You just seen that one low poke straight into the freeze,
Yeah,
and look at
exactly.
that. gets just enough damage to keep him off and keep him at bay with that laser. But we're going to see Euphemism push in with, wow, what a block stun combo. I have no idea he was capable of that. But they're going to look at the damage as well. Speaking as well, from when I played, standard combo damage was between, for 1 meter, between 4 and 600. I played Aquaman, so it was very, very much a situation where 1 meter, but it seems a lot more normalised in damage. We'll maybe get 400 now, but it allows for these different exchanges in the match. So we're seeing a lot more setups as opposed to just straight up meter combos.
Yeah.
But Scott the Scott there ducking the last hit of the Rekka chain from Red. It was a really good presence of
pretty
range
much
and knowledge.
a three-way guess there, so he did well there. Didn't get a punish though, but now he has a corner.
And this is where Supergirl kind of, she's able to press advantage, but Red Hood using meter burn advantage there just for the armor, just to get out.
Yeah.
And you can see that they're also playing in tournament mode. I've never noticed this before from the Wii tournament right up
Yeah,
the
that's
top.
kind of new.
That's new. Okay, I was wondering, it wasn't there before, but Scott just getting confirmed off the ice.
Challenging
Red,
off the plus rims as well.
And it was a good idea, but the dash under to keep the corner didn't quite work out because he dropped his combo. But it is known that Scott, if this is your first time watching him, he plays on hitbox, so it's a little bit more executionally difficult to do something.
Ooh, and
What
reverses the wake
what
up, I think there.
wake-up
It's kind of weird.
punish, yeah. And that was a side switch as well, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and this is looking convincing for Scott.
Yeah. And he's going to, he
Dodged
doesn't
the
duck
trait
the
right
last
as well.
hit, yeah.
Doesn't quite get the punish.
That's it. It's going to chip him down, but what would you like to see Euphemism do here to clutch out? He would really need to keep the corner
Sorry to
and
say,
pressure. Yeah.
Don't get hit.
Don't get hit. That is a good solution as well. And the health value means any real straight hit will do it.
Down one, back lunge.
And that's it. That's got to be it.
Yeah.
A really good swing back there from Scott the Scott after that first game, and he's making this look really convincing. He's shown that he's still fresh. But for someone that said he hadn't played much due to studying and job, it's really impressive to see him do so well. But there we've seen Euphemism again using the lunge just to clutch it out.
Sticking with Redwood too. I know he plays pretty much the whole cast at good level, so could expect a switch maybe if he goes down 2-1.
Well, he was practicing earlier on. He was practicing stuff like setups with Flash, and he was showing that it was pre-patch, obviously, so we've not got it yet, but he was showing the glitch with the standing animation lock, which was really interesting. But we're seeing that he was using a lot of tricky stuff. Yeah, fantastic use of interactable to push himself out there.
Punish on that
punish
lunge.
on the lunge. Yeah, this is fantastic. Oh, and he just whiffs the stop. Goes for a block stun reset, but no success there from Scott the Scott. Just standing in his face, yeah, it's fantastic. And he switches sides as well, pushing him to the corner and rushing him down. But the knockback on Red Hood's normals is really good. No punish there on the ice breath. It's going to be meter burn. Wall bounce into corner carry. So what kind of setups can we see again from Supergirl on the corner? None. Just giving Red Hood a little bit of room and challenge.
Ooh, that's not death. 12.47 health. Nice.
So that's a very good trade there as well. The discus with Red Hood against Euphemism. Euphemism using the discus against Scott the Scott.
Beautiful whip punch as well. See if he uses a background bounce. No, he doesn't.
And we do have to remember as well, there's no punish on the lunge, but there is the potential use of, there we go, the wall bounces just to challenge things. And you've also got the flash, which we've not seen from either player yet in either round, I don't believe, that gets the full combo and wall carry. Yeah, just challenges when he was placing out the mine there, but the trade almost cost him. And this is a position where a combo might not kill at this point, but it's strong enough to put you on death's door. But great challenge on armor there from Euphemism.
That back 1-2-3 advances so fast.
And how fast is it?
It's a 9-frame star up.
Oh, and Scott the Scott takes it.
Yeah.
And as I said there was no clash there from Scott the Scott.
Yeah, that's interesting. Definitely could have clashed earlier on, but a lot of players like to save their meter. So
Is this a result that you're used to seeing? Does Scott usually win against Euphemism? From my
honestly, I
Euphemism
don't know. I don't think I've really seen them play at all in this game. Definitely MKX. I think they'd go somewhat back and forth, but
yeah. So it's kind of it's a storied one that tends to go in Euphemism's favour. And as you said, Euphemism plays most of the cast, and he's going to be switching now to Joker, a character. This is a character I know Euphemism for. And he did have a lot of tricky mix-ups in day one, but he's floating over all these characters, and it shows you the kind of advantages of being able to play multiple characters in the game. It's he can choose a matchup that suits him just now, whereas
it's
Scott
like-
the Scot is consigned to playing Supergirl, not Superman, even though he's floating over it.
But
So-
you're not exactly going to be able to counterpick Supergirl, though. She definitely doesn't have that many bad matchups, and either way, they're not that bad, you know.
And what's interesting here is we now know who the recently announced characters are. We've got
Yep.
Hank Pym,
Supergirl.
the Turtles, and Enchantress, but those don't match up. Those images, I wouldn't say any of them look like a turtle there. Do you?
Yeah, no, neither.
No, not at all. So this is, if you were watching last night, the E-League, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Enchantress.
Deadshot.
Oh, this is an interesting
Interesting.
pick. Yeah. So we just seen you
Yeah.
use Deadshot just 2 seconds ago. Do you think this is a good counter pick against?
This is pretty much definitely a 5-5. And a lot of Deadshot struggle with this because you kind of have to play the zoning matchup a lot differently because their lasers can obviously challenge really well.
The lasers
So we'll
can
see how
challenge really well,
Euphemism does
yeah.
this.
And also, Supergirl in close is a lot stronger than Deadshot.
Yep.
Deadshot's very limited when he's up close, but he can use that cartwheel to get back out and use the gun just to keep distance. And Meter Burning, the low rifle,
Nice.
is very, very strong, and he can set up meaties with it. You can see just chipping down damage and quickly reflecting the bullets up just to stop Supergirl from using her air dash to get in. And
Good
this
challenge
is,
of the forward
yeah,
one.
This is where he's excelling, and a really good hit confirm there on the Meter Burn. And it's just, this is going to be really frustrating for Scott to stop, because when he is trying to air dash in, he is getting caught out, but look at
Yeah,
him using
Deadshot has the life lead and he's
lasers,
looking for
yeah.
these trick shots to catch the air lasers.
So when he's using air lasers, is it beneficial for Supergirl maybe to use the air down laser?
Yeah.
So instead of baiting, bait the upshot or bait the reflect shot just to,
Yeah.
catch him out?
If Euphemism does a trick shot on a read of a jump, the regular laser will hit. Actually, even a teleport would hit if he makes that hard read.
Yeah, but that is a
And if-
very hard
yeah,
read because
yeah.
the teleport is extremely punishable.
And if he's doing straight shots, the air down laser might catch.
And that was a really good dash in there, but doesn't get the full hit confirmed. It just
Ooh,
goes for a
that
neutral jump with
Deadshot's
pressure,
down
and
too,
that's
kinda
it.
sucks.
This could be the round as well, because they're in the corner. Supergirl has setups and a massive amount of damage. We'll see if he wants to spend the meter. Oh, gets caught by
Nice
the
movement,
meter burn
actually, no
armor.
clash.
A nice
Air
tech
attack
in the air.
instead.
Nice dash in from
Air
Scott
dash.
Scott.
Okay, cool. Close it out.
Just, that's unfortunate. He got the hit confirmed, but didn't fully
Yeah.
capitalise on it. And there we see it again, he's using a lot more confidence in his air dashes in, and
Yeah.
he's using the ice breath just to challenge.
Supergirls always do jump, like air dash into 1-1-2 and it doesn't jail, so I'd like to see if he does it again, Euphemism maybe challenge that with the down one.
And that's it. He
Okay,
even
2-1.
concedes it right before, but we're going to see a character select. So
2-2
does Scott the
rather,
Scot
yeah.
have any good counters to Deadshot? Who would be a good pick against Deadshot?
He plays Batman.
Mhm.
I think Batman's also probably a 5-5. He also plays Superman, that's probably 6-4 Deadshot, so it's hard to say. If he does switch, we'll probably see Batman, but it's hard to say.
Obviously, you're saying that everything here's a 5-5. Do you think there's anyone that does have a strong matchup against Deadshot, or is
in the
5-5?
yeah. Flash is, I'd say, is worst, just because of the damage. He doesn't struggle that much to get in, and
And he's a
he
far more
will open
impressive
you
character,
up.
yeah.
Catwoman, another bad matchup. Cheetah, you could say, is a bad matchup, but I mean, when do you ever fight a Cheetah? Brainiac, I hate fighting Brainiac. He's probably a 5-5, but I mean, I've seen Brainiacs do quite well against Deadshot as well.
But we've seen just now they're taking a little bit of time here on the screen because
It's always a
your
good
man
thing.
Nausea is up giving secret whispers in the ear of Scott, telling him how to beat
Catwoman.
the demon that is Euphemism. And if Euphemism goes into losers at this point, you'll have to play against Fusco in losers.
Right.
Fusco is another local player, is he?
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of choices here, but goes straight.
Green Arrow, alright.
Goes straight for
alright.
Green Arrow. So this is a zoning game. I used to
Yeah.
play Green Arrow in Justice Gods Among Us, not in this one.
Right.
He was never a great character. Do you think he's a lot better in this?
Well,
Do you
this
think?
is, Green Arrow as a character is really solid, and this matchup in particular is kind of interesting. It's another one that a lot of Deadshot players struggle because they can't just do back forward one, back forward one, back forward
Yeah.
one because of those low arrows. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so he utilises his low profiles, and the low arrows
Yeah.
are faster than the shot, but what's the damage trade-off? It's
Yeah, he's
definitely
gonna need
it's
to
not
load
good.
up fire arrows or something.
Yeah, there's these standard arrows are not doing a lot of damage, and that's just a whiff there. And that's a great
Nice
punish
interrupt.
on the wheel here. So obviously we've seen a challenge from Scott the Scott to switch to this, but it's not working out. And
Yeah,
the
not so
big
far.
overhead. It's similar to Dragunov's back
slide.
1+2 in Tekken. There's a massive overhead, but catches him with the
Catches
arrow,
with the
ice
ice.
arrow, and this is going to be
Oh, not a full combo with
just
backdashes in the back three as well. That's
what a
pretty awesome.
great presence of mind as well from Yusufism to backdash, knowing that Scott the Scott would try dash up and get that perfect wall bounce combo, and just the whiff punished and launched, and look at that cost of Scott the Scott around in a match that was in his favour previously. Scott the Scott's now trying to load different arrows just to challenge
With
it.
a life lead here, though,
Yeah.
this matchup is really tough for Green Arrow because the trick shot will challenge the zoning, so Green Arrow's forced to get in.
And you have to pick and place your arrows. So you see him place his ice arrow, but he never got it in a range that was safe enough for him to dash in and confirm. And he tries to close the gap there with the slide, but as you can see, Euphemism just slides right back out
Good
with
overhead.
Deadshot, and making the most of sitting on this lead. Peter Burn rolls and challenges him right out of roll there. And this looks devastating for Scott.
Yeah, that's
as
a
Green Arrow's
huge life
just
lead.
pinned down. Yeah, this is the kind of life lead that you can't get back on. And what a fantastic Meter Burn roll.
Only has
Scott
one
the Scott
bar as
showing that
well
he has
when
the
he finally
full
gets in.
actual combos, but switches sides of a meaty grab set up, and he loads them up with arrows on the floor. Slides in, but gets challenged by back forward
up.
3, and that's it.
Alright.
Euphemism takes it.
Deadshot wins.
So that's going to be Euphemism moving on to fight yours truly,
Oh, nice.
Rusty Banana.
Okay. When is that, after one more set or no?
That's it. We'll find out who's coming up next, so just wait around. We'll find out who's on stream.
Alright, sound.
So both players there, just looks like we've got a losers match up next, potentially. It looks like Scott the Scott and Fusco, maybe.
Okay.
So Scott the Scott staying down. Yeah, he plugs back in. And that means Scott the Scott's going to have to run a gauntlet after such a long kind of grueling set there. He's going to have to go up against Fusco. I believe he is a player from Dundee, an anime player.
Okay. Nice.
But interested in Injustice, and that means I believe I could at least tag out and get Euphemism on before your match. So just hold on 2 seconds, we'll switch
Alright.
commentators to someone that knows a little bit more.
Yo, how do I read the stream chat?
Black Canary. Captain
Alright, I have returned.
Fighters are
What did you think of that one?
The Deadshot pick, I respect it. Interesting at the end, the Green Arrow pick as well.
Yeah, it was. I was pretty
Yeah.
thrown
That
off.
dead shots.
Yeah, it was a bit of a decision that threw me off, but at the same time, like, I had to do it because
Yeah.
How do you guys feel knowing that Deadshot is going to die? So
I don't mind it because I've got plenty of characters to pick
I
from.
know you'll be picking up Joker.
Not against Supergirl. God no. Next city. I've got Red Hood. Why would you play Joker when you've got Red Hood? I do. But what I also respect is this Captain Cold pick. This man is trying his hardest. We saw this last from Sonic Fox at Ely against Forever King and Nubcakes. Tried out Captain Cold, didn't work against Forever King, got double eliminated for the decision. Barely managed to scrape out against Nubcakes. Oh, gets the bat there, doesn't quite get the conversion. So dropped that a couple of times there with the one bat. But we'll see what we can do with it. Because right now we have, I believe that's Fusco, right? He is playing Captain Cold.
So what have they done to that Vortex in the patch? Is it the jump to hit advantage is different?
Yeah, for Batman, the changes that he's going to receive in the upcoming patch for PS4 are his jump to hit advantage has been minimalised 5 frames. They've also made it so that if you catch him out of the air with grapple, the hit advantage is greatly reduced now.
Alright, nice.
So, well, it's greatly reduced in terms of it's normalised to be the same as if you were to hit him with the grapple on the ground. Because if you were to hit somebody with the grapple from the air and then meter burn it, it usually has a little bit more hit advantage than if it was done on the ground. And we have a super here from Captain Cold. Hype stuff here. Shout outs to Decay, the man who designed this super friend. Very one of the best.
Yeah, what I was thinking for Batman, if you can't do jump 2 into jump 2 for the Vortex, you can just wait for like the grapple hit advantage and then do another ambiguous jump cross up, almost like, you know, Superman stuff in the corner or whatever when it does like Frost Breath and then
See,
ambiguous jump 2.
I think the grapple will still have enough hit advantage to do maybe like a cross-up jump to, but I
Yeah.
don't know, we'll see. Somebody will find
Yeah,
out.
we'll
Forever
see.
King will be labbing it. So we'll see what happens with that. So that is Scott up 1 game, I believe. That's fine. It looks like Fusco's want to switch characters. Captain Cold is a very strong character in some matchups, but there are some matchups where he just really, it's a very hard game for him. So you can see here, Fusco,
Goes to
originally a
Fate.
Smash player, coming over to play a little bit of Injustice. Very casual just now, he says, but he's looking to get into it a bit more. He's been playing a couple of characters. Looks like he's switching here to Dr. Fate. Very interesting choice. Dr. Fate does very well against Batman, actually.
Yeah. Saw that just earlier with Tekken Master versus Forever King.
Sorry?
We just saw this matchup at E-League as well.
Yeah, that's right. As it said, sorry. Yes, Tekken Master did very well in this week. We're looking good to see if Fusco can pull off the same against Scott. Dr. Fate doesn't seem too bad just now. He's shown a little bit of tech earlier.
Nice tech.
Very nice tech, actually. See if Scott can keep up the pressure. Goes for 2-2, he doesn't quite get it. Gets a jump 2 this time, however. And he's going to go for a mix up here. Let's see if Fusco blocks it. Oh, goes to the up air rank, but it whiffs there on Dr. Fate. Very
Bad input
interesting.
error there.
Could be a very character specific tech that up air rank, but it does leave the does leave Batman at
Another
+9, and
super,
another
let's go.
super. Doesn't get the forward 3 in time to kill, so he will eat all this damage. Let's see if we can neutralise any of it by pressing 3 for each hit. Nope. Neither player manages to make it more or less damage. But Fusco is going to try his hardest to keep Scott away at this point. Activates trait. If he's hit by one of those orbs now, he's going to bounce back to full screen, and the anks will be physical hits. But Scott manages to close it out. That trait's going to run out now, and Scott will have another bat to play around with. Let's see if he can use it to work his way in. Gets hit with Interact, and he tries to punish with the bat, but doesn't quite get much from it. Gets another trait bat, and he now has him in the corner. It's a scary stuff for Fusco, but gets over the bat, catches him with a jump 1. And you see Scott gets trip guarded right there with an uppercut. Fusco is still, he's keeping it close.
Yeah, this is really even.
Very even matchup, Dr. Fate Batman. Very tough. If Batman gets in, Dr.
Preempted
Fate
down 2 with.
had the read wrong timing, unfortunately,
Restance.
and he's going to get mixed up. It was
Lost
a
the
cross up, but he
cross-up.
did block it. Didn't block the follow-up hits, unfortunately. It's cross up jump 2, and let's
No
see if Scott
clap.
does it. Gets the meter burn grapple. Goes for 1-2, and not blocking low Fusco, maybe not aware of the back one. And another super, doesn't quite get it this time. No punisher from Scott. Scott goes for an uppercut but gets caught. No clash either there from Fusco, but doesn't have the meter advantage, so either way, it would have been a little bit of life, but even a clash can sometimes just be good for resetting the situation. Scott now up 2-0. We'll see if Fusco switches to another character or if he chooses to stick with Dr. Fate. Like I say, the
Sticks
Dr.
with
Fate
Fate.
matchup isn't too hard for Fate. It is doable, but we'll see if we can bring it back. He did keep it close most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. Until they got in that corner.
Yeah. It's not like he was getting completely demolished, it's just when Scott managed to get in. Gets caught with the 3 trait bats there. Doesn't quite get the
Drops
follow
the
up.
combo though.
Fusco caught, tried to disrespect the frame trap. And wake up Glyph gets caught with the bat, very nice read there
That
from
jump
Scott.
1 being out of the jump 2.
Yep, unfortunately there the drop combo. Gets the health orb, not sure if he wanted that. Common input error with Dr. Fate players. Goes for an orb, gets caught, and no full combo punish. We get the caught pressing buttons afterwards. Scott's going to get that melee grapple, and let's see what he does with it. Goes for another neutral jump 2 and catches him glyphing. Very nice stuff. Tries to side switch, doesn't quite get the conversion from it. Just doing his best to try and keep Scott away. The life differences now are pretty big, but we'll see. It's still doable. Scott has the basket. Oh, and his
Another
super's
super.
very perfectly timed there. But unfortunately, the bats hit him no super,
Good
and
read on
Scott with
that
a
bar
leading
round.
jump. Very nice up that one. Fusco 1 health bar away from being sent out of the tournament, unfortunately for him, but we'll see what he can do. Goes to the multiple
6
down
frames
once, no
minus
check here from
2,
Scott
man,
the
fair
Scott,
enough.
and gets the
You
back one
do what
with
you
punish.
need to.
Tries to glyph against the jump 2, and this is going to be another mix up, has the meter for it. Goes for forward, into forward, he's going for the
Uncrossed,
cockpit and
alright.
tries to get a throw wake up.
Oh,
forward
is
there.
that cross
And he's
enough?
going for the cross up,
Reverses the
fucking
wake
whiffs
up
on the health
probably.
orb there, very interesting. There's no punish. And both of those go inside the cockpit. Back 1-1-2, let's see if he gets touched. And a cross up forward, Tia knocked in. Goes for another
super, let's
super!
go.
This is like the 3rd super from this game. Wow. 23.47 health, no meter to work with, no clash, 1 hit will do it for him, so he will need to try his hardest to make sure Scott doesn't get anywhere near him.
And he's
He
just
will need
standing
his own
still.
target, and looks like he's given in, yeah, it looks like it's done here for Fusco. Scott takes it 3-0 and moves on in the losers bracket. Unfortunately for
nausea.
Fusco being eliminated here, but, you know, just couldn't keep him out.
Yeah.
But like we say, he is a Smash player, he plays Injustice a bit casually, but he's planning on coming along on Sundays.
Nice.
You know, if any of you are around the Glasgow area, Sunday afternoons, 1 or 2 o'clock, we're in at Max XP Gaming. We're here practicing all the time, doing the best we can, learning all the matchups, and if you want to be here as well, you are most welcome. But as for now, with Scott taking that over Fusco, it looks like we'll have our losers semis match of Nausea and Scott the Scot. They may be playing that right now. Let's have a look at that. Alright, let's see.
What?
Where's the match, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. Alright, there it's there. Must just be taking its time to load. Yeah, looks like we'll be moving into Scott Fiscal 3-0. Just bear with us a minute and we'll get the next match set up for you. Maybe, yeah. Something not for now.
Try and get the audio out through the... Good then, that's it fixed. You may continue with it.
Okay, let's have a look here. So yeah, it looks like our next matchup will be Nausea and Scott the Scot, two of our top players here in Scotland for NRS games.
If you still want to do the winners finals first, then... No. It depends. Do you want the person from winners to do 2 matches in a row? Or would you want the person from losers to have to do 2 matches in a row? Usually it's done like losers semis, winners finals, losers finals. Okay, yeah, okay. Something that way.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, looks like we're going into loser semis here. Nausea and Scott the Scot. Nausea likely to be playing either Dr. Fate or could bring out his Catwoman again.
Yep.
What were you thinking when he brought out Catwoman?